If you're new here, welcome. And to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, we are going to be showcasing how to act like them, think like them, even be like them, be in the authority, in order for you as the alienated parents to create leverage for yourself. Now, I want to share this with all my fan base right here. You have to do things, and I've touched on this and alluded to this following points in previous lives. You have to do things in life that go against your principles to achieve the tangible outcome that you're seeking. And that is indeed your why. That's indeed your son or your daughter, your why, who's you want to get back into your son or daughter's life, or child/children's life, right? Who have been taken off you with disgusting, deplorable, sick, demented, twisted, ludicrous lies done for money-intensive purposes. In my case, mother-in-law done it for the £800 carer's allowance. And although she does love my son, for her it's a transactional relationship. It's not a developmental, emotional, developing relationship. And this is where my boy, as he continually becomes awakened and aware, educated and empowered, due to him becoming older, at nearly 7 years old now, respectfully, he is starting to realise, as he's becoming older, that the age gap between him and his nan is just starting to get unbelievably large. She cannot fulfill his needs at 72. You know, she can barely do school run, and it's not a knock on her, it's her age. Now, what does this mean? This means that in addition to my boy always loving his father, he's crying out for me more and more and more. Because all of a sudden, now I've got power behind me. That plays a big role with my legal team. But all of a sudden, as has been illustrated in the previous two lives, and there's one more to go through, and that was a powerful one. I wasn't expecting this meeting today, but it was an impromptu one, and there was some yet more breakthroughs discussed. So, and I'm sorry to say this, although I did say that this would be the last live relating to the voice recording chapter before we tackle the emotions, there may need to be one or two more in order for this life, from these lives regarding the voice recordings, in order for this story to be told, I should have said, rather. Because remember now, it's a story that needs to be told incredibly articulately, intentionally, and deliberately. This story really does. Mine and son and his father's comeback story. And I want to say that with each and every single video that I do, I want to thank you, the viewer, because again, if I can help out just one person, just one, I'm a happy guy. But also, and it's the first time I'm going to mention this point, it gives me solace. Some of these, or a lot of these voice recordings I haven't even played. It's the second time I'm listening to it. But I recorded it because I knew that one day I would use it just to figure out, not for YouTube, but just to re-listen to each and every. And I did when I was in my depression stage, thinking, where did I go wrong here? What did I do? What was my role to play? in this. Were there certain things I could have done better? Absolutely. Was I perfect? Absolutely not. Should I have handled myself better? Probably. But then, if I just been fake, that's giving out the without doing things the hard way. And I'm kind of I'm making reference to my attitude here towards the authority. Whilst it could have been better, yes. Like, it's also, had I been fake, it's telling them that what they've done to me is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. No, it's not. And I did things the hard way. Like, I did. I really have done things the hard way, and I'm fucking proud. Excuse my language. I'm proud of that. You know how much balls it takes. BULLS. Balls. It takes to represent yourself in court. Right? Being cross-examined by so many different members of authority over a grueling 3-day trial period. Yeah, it's exhausting. I did it though. And going forward now, going through court, now I have weight with my words, and I dare say even authority if it goes back to courts. Because as I said in previous videos, if nothing changes in 3 months, and I'm given every chance, which I have been lately, and we're going to discuss how I got there in this very life. And side note, there is one more from the parenting, Barbara, her name is, and we had a fantastic meeting earlier, much more relaxed, and I tried to improve there, you know, and I was accountable for myself, saying, okay, where do I need to improve? Maybe I need to improve in that area, and this and this and this. And it's like reining it in. I'm never going to be fake. And you're going to hear this in the voice recording, not in this video, in tomorrow's video, which I'm hoping will be the last one for a while, with the voice recording chapter, before we get into the emotional, psychological, and spiritual development of the child. I will say that tomorrow there's a meeting booked in. I'm very proud to announce this because I managed to wrestle it, and you're going to hear how in this video from the authority. I've got a meeting set up to discuss online contact with my son, which will commence from next week for the next 2 weeks, I think. And then it will be face-to-face contacts for my boy's 7th birthday. They tried to say to me, I'm not allowed to take pictures for my son's birthday and video due to the non-molestation. They haven't said due to the non-molestation order, but I think that's the reason. But they tried to say it to me last year, and I managed to get the contract amended. So I'm just asking them, can I just, for my son's birthday, for God's sake, his 7th birthday, so I can have memories. That's his father. But see how sick they are to try in their desperate attempts to get you to break. They might say no. Okay. I'll just get them back when they come in. I'll get there first at contacts. And as my son comes running up to his dad, I'll say, happy birthday, son. And I'll cut the video off quick. There's no proof there. So you have to be like so many steps ahead dealing with these sick F-U-C-K-S, because they are. They want you to break. But you must continue on your path behind never breaking. But that's what they want you to do. They want you to break. They want you to fold under the pressure. It takes a lot of grit, intestinal fortitude, determination, tenacity, resourcefulness, you know. Many elements. Like how you're going to get resiliency. And on top of that, try your best with work and make money, you know. And focus on your mental health, right? And like so many other things that I've been going through, but not just me. There's other people as well that are going through the trials and tribulations. I've got a dear friend who I've seen recently, and I won't say due to privacy, but life just hit her at once. And I said to her, and I say this to my viewers, if life hasn't hit you yet, it will. You know, you could be 10, you could be 20, you could be 30, you could be 40, you could be 50, you could be 60, you could be 70, you could be 80, you could be 90, you could even be 100. Life will hit you, and it'll keep you to your knees. Stealing the quote here from Rocky 6, have you seen that film? Life will beat you to your knees if you let it. But you know, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? That's what he says. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward in life. So all these things were happening to my friends, and I told him it's a test from the universe. You go for it. I've gone for it. Everybody goes through it, and it's setting up the next evolutionary step for your character going forwards. Doesn't seem like it now. It doesn't feel that way now in the moment where emotions are high. But it is what it is doing. Make no mistake about it. And for the evolutionary character of mine going forwards, I've developed tools in the compartments of my brain. Sorry, components in my brain, not compartments, components in my brain that I never realised existed because they started to get tougher and tougher and tougher, and expansion. They expand whilst I've immersed myself underneath all of that pressure. I knew I had it, case in point, I knew that I had it well with my speaking capabilities because I'm a good speaker. I'm shit at technology. My friend will take the piss out of me for that, for saying something, because we had a laugh about it earlier on, and she knows how bad I am. And by the way, I love you. Always having a chuckle and a joke about it earlier on. And DIY is another thing I'm terrible at. But what I'm good at, I excel at. I'm fantastic at speaking and speaking well. And I knew that I could use my speaking prowess to defend myself in courts. Because guess what? If you are not a liar, you don't need legal representation because you're not a fake bitch. Excuse my language, but I'm going to swear there because it pisses me off how I had the balls, BULLS, and the confidence, right, to do this and represent myself in courts because I don't lie. The authorities, they need the power behind them. They need their authority above their own authority, being legal departments, because that's where the money is. You gotta get that money, baby. You know, and that's the basic argument. That's how these sick people go about it. It's the courts. It's sorry, with the local authority, they're working for the courts pretty much. You know, they're a cog on the wheel, right? And they've done that for money, and they just ruined so many other families, you know, children. In the best interest for the child, and I don't give a fuck about the child. It's about the money that feeds into the political narrative in terms of the child's corruption. That's what I mean by the best interest for the child, to make the money off of the child. Oh, man. But I didn't need power behind me, or so I thought. And now I realise, no matter how good you are at defending yourself, with authenticity and purity, right? And truth, right? Which I did. And going back to the judge's final judgment, he said to me, he was highly negative and critical, but he was also said that I was a breath of fresh air. And in my candor, my honesty, and my attitude was refreshing. Because he took into acknowledgement I didn't have no logistics, legal court experience. It's the first time I'd ever spoken for myself. But he acknowledged many positives about me, not just negatives, right? And I can use that for my own top to power now. Because now I realise you need power behind you in order to get change. And this is where they've got you, by the balls. This is where they got you. Because even when you're innocent, just to get the basic minimum that you're after, you got to pay those thousands, baby. Pay those thousands, baby. And then we'll give you what you want with the basic and give you a chance, right? And that's how it goes. I've been very lucky and fortunate and blessed to have been met with a wonderful legal firm now who's given me the utmost compassion and empathy. And then I can't say enough good things about them. But with all this said, I'm going to make the cold open or the introduction shorter than necessary. Sorry, what am I saying? Shorter than usual, because I should have said it does go on longer than necessary, because I do like to talk. And I kind of, if I'm being honest, I do like to show off the background as well. And when sealing down, I like to give the viewer the backgrounds in the open. And when I sit down and I'm like, ooh, and like goes down to the desk up here. Then I've got to pull the laptop in. So this is another reason why I bang on a lot. I tend to go on 15, 20 minutes in the cold open before going into the voice recorders. So with all this said, let's do this. Let's show my audience how I created the breakthroughs needed. So, oh, sorry about this. So, once I had power behind me, in addition to in conjunction with the independent reviewing officer, game changer. Now, with all this said, we're going to first start with an introduction very quick before going into the voice recording, which is these people, ghosts. This is your new nickname, Ghost. You may as well call yourself Ghost, because you're never going to get anything. They're never going to get their phone picked up. Very rarely you'll get an email. There's going to be every excuse under the sun. My phone had problems. I was in court all week. I've been in meetings all day. There's all these excuses. But the harsh truth, the sad reality, is that they want you to break. It's done deliberately by design, with ill intent, maliciously, insidiously, so that they can break you down. And your nickname is Ghost. Until you do something about it. And not by doing something about it like I thought, by putting relentless upon relentless upon relentless pressure on. And I'm still very proud to have achieved that, because it's given me all my data for, voice recording, documentation, screenshots, emails. I'm going to share an email in this very life. And it's given me the confidence. I look at all the time, all of the energy that it's taken for my son, put him in, as I should, on the upper echelon, the pedestal, yeah? Way above work, way above making money, way above my own mental health, way above my physical health. My physical health took a massive hit. Way above my relational health. So many relationships this has cost me, as I've been angry and been bitter and all these things, and it's been a massive journey to learn the political game, to learn the logistics as to how you're supposed to be and supposed to behave, and the conduct and the psychology, and it's very in depth. You never know who you're going to speak with or to based on the individualistic characteristic of personality, of persona. Does that make sense? Who you're speaking to would be a different person to the last. So you might get attitude from one person. You need to learn how to deal with that person and obviously the more you speak with said person or individual, the more knowledgeable you become by way of learning their tone, learning their timing, where they talk in the conversation, learning what to anticipate. There's tricks to all this crap, But it's a journey. It's a journey, all right? It's a journey, a big one, and it's an emotional roller coaster of twists and turns, yeah? And it's a journey of self-discovery and of self-insights, in order for you to there's a saying that I love, and it's not from me. I never plagiarize anybody. It's a quote. I'm big into quotes. There's a quote from Dean Graziosi. He says, "What if life was happening for you rather than to you?" Case in point, yeah, it's easy to be like, woe is me, and it cost me so many relationships, my son, and fighting for him, and going through the family court system, right? And it has. It's easy for me to go on about my physical health, which took a big hit, and it is. But what if it happened for me? What if it gave me the tools to develop my emotional, or to develop emotional mastery, and by having all this now and putting myself under insane, impossible pressure, largely by myself when I had no legal representation, and doing all of that. What if it gave me the tools to set me up for the rest of the entirety of my life, regarding handling pressure in business, regarding getting my son back and handling that pressure? What if it happened for me? Does that make sense? So there's a little hack there with like mind and how we speak to ourselves. Wanted to share that quote. With all this said, we're over 20 minutes in. Maybe it will serve someone. We're over 20 minutes in now, and we usually go to like 20, between 15 to 25 minutes. More often than not, it's like 20 to 25 minutes before we even play voice recording after the cold open. But with all this said, you're about to hear, and I'm thinking about where to start. So we're going to start with a voice message left to the interim social worker, first of all, and then we're going to go from that to an actual conversation, half an hour later, something like this. So, yes, it's actually going to be a good one, this live, and I'm really looking forward to it. So with all this said, let's see if I can find here.
I'm sorry, but the person
Oh yes, here we go.
is not available.
3, 2, 1, play. So.
Please leave your message after the tone. After you've finished your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Alright then, I'm going to leave you a voice message, and I've written out topics of discussion that I wanted to speak to you of, and you did agree for me to call you at 11, but it's not just you who has to work, okay? So I'm going to leave you a voice message, and my legal team will be aware of this, by the way, as well. I'm recording this, as I always record. You should know, as proven to you, in relation to the review in which I'd sent you, that was a review I'd left to my team. Very compassionate firm. They looked at a lot of my voice recordings, free of charge. They gave me a ton of free advice, free of charge. I did pay for transparency and accountability, the £300, including VAT, for the initial consultation, okay? And they've advised me on how to work with you people in the most effective way possible. Now, I want you to know that I have power behind me now, whereas before I didn't have power behind me after representing myself in the family court system. I'm very proud to have represented myself in the family court system by myself, and I didn't need any representation, as I do not lie. I'm not a liar. I don't need a legal firm to wear a mask for me, shielding me from the trail of destruction regarding lies I leave in my wake. Because I'm not that person. The authorities are. I'm not. But with all this said, as I've been educated, I must pull on a fresh attitude. And if you speak to Barbara, the lady whom I was talking with from the parenting class yesterday, not only have I asked to go on one course, I've because it's all it's not compulsory. That's what they say, anyways. The reality is, as I've been educated by my top firm, I need to go above and beyond and showcase that I'm willing to do absolutely anything. And so, with this in mind, I have asked Barbara, who's a lovely lady, gave me a lot of her time and energy to explain my position. But she put forth to me a lot of parenting courses, and she has emailed me a few of them. And I'll be looking to fill this out later on. And I'm very much looking forward to getting started towards online parenting courses where I can exchange knowledge with other fathers, and they can in turn exchange knowledge with me, and together we grow. So I wish to put that forth at the forefront, and as you would have heard from, or sorry, not heard, seen from the review, I was very, complimentary towards my firm when I left the review to them. They said to me, give it a few months of putting on a fresh attitude, which I'm trying to do in spite of the worst odds, and participate in all courses, as many as possible. And if the local authorities really do have the best interest of the child, following my son's requests behind wanting to see his dad, and I know his voice is getting louder and louder, I can feel him. He's my blood. I can feel my son even if I'm not there. And if nothing changes in a few months, and I will record everything at contact, as well as my online courses, and my solicitors have said, then you come back to us, then we'll step in on your behalf. Okay? So just so that this is acknowledged by the LA, I do have power behind me now, and I've got a top firm behind me. And I am willing to spend multiple of thousands for them. And also, moreover, they're a very highly compassionate firm who are appalled, absolutely appalled and disgusted with some of the recordings I've put forth to them, showcasing the tyrannical behaviours of the local authorities from the past, Abigail Doe in particular. Now, let me go on to my next topic of discussion here. Originally, I was going to get a go-kart for my son's birthday. However, there's a problem. And this problem is that I thought at the time I would be able to get contact sorted in the community for my child. And the go-kart, obviously, is heavy. I can't get a go-kart for my son because I know a 72-year-old elderly lady won't be able to carry that. And it's my son who's going to suffer by having a go-kart and not being able to use it. He's told his father, side note, he very rarely even gets to go to the park by his nan. But anyways, so that's what I'm saying. I need you to ask my son, please, Miss Interim Social Worker, what he would like for his birthday. Say I can't get him a go-kart because of his nan's elderly and I can't see my son except the contact centre, so it have to be something else. Please ask him what he wants there. My next topic of discussion with you was, let's see here. Oh, are you happy with Austin's videos? Following our last contacts on the phone, you did put forth and state that you were happy, to my knowledge, and that everything was good there. So I just need to know if that is indeed still the case. I would ask Virginia about this, but as always, I'm ghosted. Everyone ignores me, everybody. So I'm just waiting it out. I just have to wait things out now. And I don't know. I try to communicate. I try to do things properly. No one wants to hear it. So this is why I voice record for my solicitors. And now I realise I need power behind me. But I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be respectable. I'm going to put on a fresh attitude. I'm going to participate in all the courses. And yet again, find a way for my son, for that local authority's information.
You're approaching the maximum allowed time for recording a message. If you wish to record further, please choose the append option from the menu.
Let's see
if
here.
you've finished recording, just hang up.
That's
Press
the
1
here.
if you're happy it is different. To listen to your message, press 0.
So, what I would like to say as well, what I would like to say as well is Maria yesterday as sent to your WhatsApp. Here's where it gets good. She messaged me 2 messages yesterday. Now, I need to know, because if that was me messaging Maria, I would be in contempt of court. So what happens if Maria messages me? Can you tell me and explain that to me, please? Because I'm not sure what to make of it, but I thought I'd report it to see if double standards apply. Double standards, or what happens. I'm just curious, you know. I have submitted proof of this as well to my solicitors for your information. Okay, so I'm protected.
Sorry, but you've reached the maximum time available for recording your message. To listen.
That was the pre-recorded left her message, but then she called me back after she had listened to that message. Oh, sorry, she called me back I think she's listened to it. But either way, let's go on to the conversation now. And then you're going to see this story and the dots connecting to the fullest entirety behind the tangible outcome. Now I'm going to play the conversation between myself and the interim social worker. 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm sorry, but the person you called.
Here it is. Sorry.
Don't worry. Oh, no, don't you worry about that. It's actually proven to be a better thing because I've left you a voice recording and I've gone over topics of discussion for you. But whilst we are on the phone, in order to promote, first of all, how much time do you have?
I don't have enough time because
Yeah, right.
yeah. So let me just.
May I please ask you, how much time do you have?
I can give you 5 minutes.
Okay, so I've got a lot to get through because you're only giving me 5 minutes. You're not.
Let me just.
You're not doing things You're not doing things the right way by giving me time. So I would like to speak faster.
You asked me how many minutes you've got because I have to do some minutes that.
Well, you've got 5 minutes, so respectfully, I am requesting, as you've only given me from your choice, you've only given me 5 minutes. I have a few things to say.
How many minutes do I have to talk to you? And I just said 5.
And that's your choice. So therefore, I would like to tell you what I need to put forth, which is very important.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that okay? And this will be reported to my solicitors for your information, okay? All right?
Okay, I do not appreciate being recorded.
No, I'm saying this phone conversation will be reported. Let me jump straight in, okay? You don't appreciate being recorded because it's the truth. And liars hate the truth. But let's dive right in here.
So are you calling me a liar?
So regarding the
See, I knew that was a trap. Had I said, yes, record, you're a liar, she would have hanged up. So that's why I switched straight ahead to the next thing.
In courses, Barbara, she and I had an extensive conversation.
Psychology.
And I want to let the local authority know
think like them.
that I'm very much looking forward to participating in the courses. Did Barbara call you back and let you know what's going on?
No.
Okay. Shall I move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, my son, he is with as the local authority will be aware of, he is with a 72-year-old elderly lady, respectfully. And I was initially going to get my son, my biological son, a go-kart for his birthday. Now, this is before court, and this is before I realised I would have to see my son at a contact centre. My point is this. Would you very kindly say to my son, because it's too heavy for Nana, that I can't get you a go-kart, please ask him what he would like for his birthday and tell me? Can you do that?
I just have to let you know that this week is my last week with the local authority, and I went to see Austin yesterday.
Okay.
I can send message to Nan to say that if she can ask Austin what he wants for his birthday.
And may I please ask you, who would be relaying this information to me once it's found out what he wants? Who would tell me? Then I know what to do.
I will let my manager know.
Would that be Virginia, correct?
Yeah. They are going to have virtual contact will be set up for you with Austin for next week.
Oh, is it from this week?
Next week.
Oh, next week. I see. Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you.
But before that,
Okay.
they are going to have a meeting with you, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and then maybe a contact agreement that you will need to sign before the supervising contact video contact go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine.
Virtual supervised contact.
Yep.
There will be an agreement for you to sign before it goes ahead.
Oh, that's absolutely fine. As you say, you've only got 5 minutes, and I still have a couple of things to put forth. So may I go on to the next thing? Very quick. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Isn't it amazing what happens when you have power behind you? No, this leads me beautifully into my next segue. As you've seen, I assume you've seen, have you seen the screenshot sent to your WhatsApp of my review to my phone?
When did you send it?
I sent it to you yesterday, and I can see when you were last online.
Yes.
You were last online at 18 minutes past 10. So did you have a check, or I don't know? It says last seen for you on WhatsApp was 10:18 a.m. But did you look at the screenshot, or no? Not yet.
I haven't seen it.
I see. Well, there's no time to go over it, but long story short, in a nutshell, I want you to know that whilst embarking in my appeal process relating to family court, it's been a lot of trial and error on my part and learning to do the psychology behind doing things. I realise most people are ARSEHOLES and do not care and are stone cold. And they're miserable in their personal lives, by the way, just like the local authority are. And because karma, no one's immune to karma, and you know what you do is wrong. But anyway, so many people didn't care. Some were compassionate, and one who I really lucked out with went above and beyond for me. I paid the £300. You need to pay attention here to protect the local authority's position, right? I paid the £300, including that, right, for the initial consultation. I was also equipped with a plethora of knowledge behind the psychology of how you people operate and what I now must do. And so what I'm going to do, I'm never going to be a fake person, but I'm also going to rein things in, okay? And I will try to be political and respectful. And as proven to Barbara, when her and I had a conversation, I was saying, give me everything, please. Give me every single course. I want there to be no excuse from the authorities when I go on as many online courses as possible, in addition to and conjunction with me putting on a fresh... sorry, excuse me, please let me finish. In addition to me putting on a fresh attitude, and you need to know that if nothing changes in a few months, my solicitors, top solicitors, will be stepping in, and I am willing to spend multiple of thousands, okay? Just so you know. Is that all right?
I have to run out.
Yeah. One more thing. I promise you this is the last thing, and it is important, because it's to do before you hang up. I know, I know you're scared about me, recording, but, because it promotes transparency and accountability. And
I'm not scared.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then prove me wrong. Give me the time right now for 1 minute, literally. Can you do that? Because it's important. Well, Maria breached the injunction order. She messaged me twice yesterday, and I sent you a screenshot about it. So what happens? Do double standards apply? Can I ask you that? Yeah. Okay.
I have to run. The
I see.
5 minutes is fast.
Oh, got it. I understand.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have to run.
Okay. You got to rush. Okay, what about Maria breaching the injunction order, though? Do you have anything to say about that? Oh.
Talk to my manager. If you have this is legal thing. You have to contact your solicitor.
No, I understand. I know what I need to do, and this conversation's being recorded, okay? All right? For my solicitors.
Yeah.
Have a lovely day, okay? All right? Bye now.
So that was the interim social worker. Now, regarding the injunction order that my son's nan breached by messaging me, we'll get to that when we go over the email section. But before we do, We're going to do as it was before, only this time it's to the independent reviewing officer. I left her a voice message on her machine before then proceeding with the actual conversation. So let's dive right in. There's still this to get through, and then there's the emails. Hopefully this will be a shorter life than usual. Let's see. So yeah, on three. 3, 2, 1. You're about to hear the answer machine left to my son's independent reviewing officer. 3, 2, 1, play.
Good morning, Pamela. It's ChristopherMurray, Austin Murray's father. I just wish you to know that I haven't been emailed by Virginia yet. I've asked who's supposedly the manager, correct? You say it starts at the top, and now I can understand as to why other members of authority have treated me so disgustingly. That's not to say my attitude hasn't been bad, because it most certainly has. But I wish you to know, based on how I've been treated, but I've been very bad at times as well. But at the end of the day, Pamela, when you're constantly ghosted by everybody, this is what the authorities do in order to make men break. And then they say you're being cohesive, you're being controlling, being myself. And all I want is the bare minimum behind communication. And be quite ironic, don't you think? And this is why a lot of men do break. I'm not going to. But you should know that I emailed my solicitors and they have given me an ultimatum. They said work with the local authorities with a renewed attitude. Asked to go on parenting courses, which I've done. Barbara, I believe the ladies as many courses as possible so that I can do whatever I possibly can to open up the local authorities' eyes behind me bettering myself, which will therefore in turn is hopefully, at least it's my hope, move the needle forwards relating to the authorities getting more behind my son's biological father, being myself, surrounding contact between my son and myself more often with time, and then building towards community in time. But I can't do that if I'm constantly ghosted. I can't. And I spoke to the interim social worker the other day. She told me that they'll be in touch this week. Well, it's Thursday. Yeah, still Thursday, but nobody's been in touch with me at all. I've asked Virginia countless times for meetings to be set up, just ghosted. And following the judge's orders, I believe we're supposed to be working towards online contact at this point now, to my knowledge. So I'm just wondering, and I say this with respect, Pamela, if you can have a word, because something needs to change. I'm going to send you an email over that I sent to Virginia herself for transparency and accountability. As I say, with my legal team. So what happened was, I want to explain something to you, Pamela. Most people, whilst I've been embarking on this journey, going through the appeal process, I realised a lot of harsh truths. Most people don't care and are stone cold, and are ARSEHOLES, They just want your money. And if, some people are compassionate and will listen to you. And I was comparing the ones that were compassionate with my case and would give me the time because of the complexities of my case, right? And that requires a lot of money. I did manage to luck out with a firm, okay? And I did pay the £300, including VAT, and they were above and beyond. They went above and beyond for me. They gave me a lot for £300. I went to the office, submitted paperwork, the judge stuff, the non-molestation order. They not only gave me a ton of free advice, they listened to voice recordings of mine. And I am, in in a very powerful position once my legal team have given me an ultimatum, which is, give it 3 months once the authorities get back in touch with you, show a fresh attitude, do all your parenting courses, and if nothing changes, then we've got a problem. A direct quote from them. And they will step in, and I am willing to pay the thousands if I have to. I was going to Glitz when I went to the office, and if you want the entire truth, this is a testament to them and how compassionate that they are. They said, no, keep your money, wait, give it 3 months, and then we will step in if nothing changes. So I will be recording everything going forwards, so no lies can be told. There's plenty of lies that have been told about me by the local authority, and this is why I'm, quotes, paranoid, or, quotes, cohesively controlling, okay? If I wasn't lied about so vehemently that fits into the narrative, the political agendas and the corruption regarding the family court system, then I wouldn't need to lie about, I wouldn't need to lie at all. And I don't. I try my best not to lie. But I wouldn't need to spin truths or use, hyperboles or a figure of speech, which means a figure of speech, of course, involving exaggeration, in order for me to attempt to get the bare minimum of results that I'm after when I'm continuously ghosted. I don't lie. I do sometimes, admittedly, use hyperboles and perhaps be melodramatic and exaggerate. And I'll be honest. See, I can do this. The authorities cannot. I'll be honest. I sometimes do this so that I can get the bare minimum needed in order for contact, with the father and communication. It's sick what we have to do. It is sick. But just if only people treated others better, right? Maybe it wouldn't be that way. Pamela, I don't know if I've told you this before, I'm a Christian. And I've been doing a lot of praying lately. I have, asking for guidance from God. And I'm a firm believer in Christianity. And, God's changed my life. And all that I wish to say in closing is, as a Christian, I do a lot of praying. I go to Mass Tuesday, Fridays, and Sunday I go for the church service. I always pray after. And I've been praying for the local authority recently, just like asking God to guide them as to how they can perhaps treat other people better themselves. And it's a journey. It's a journey for them, and it's a journey for me. I need to learn to treat people better with my attitudes. It's not just them, but it's based on what I was accused of, and all of really, the local authority have treated me disgustingly, but my attitude hasn't helped. So I'll be transparent and accountable.
To listen to your message, press 1. To re-record your message, press 2.
So just a couple of things. This, so that it makes sense to the viewer. This, what you just heard, and you're about to hear the conversation with me and Pamela now. That's my son's independent reviewing officer. Now, but just for transparency, I spoke to the social worker first. I spoke to this lady first. You're about to hear. Before the social worker, which is in the last conversation you heard on the voice recorder. But so it makes sense to the viewer, I chose to do it the other way around, as in showcasing it. So I hope that makes sense, because, I mentioned some things that might be confusing otherwise that you would have heard from the recordings. So I just wanted to put that at the forefront. It was her seconds, who you're about to hear, and the actual conversation from the last meeting, from the last voice recording in our meeting. If that makes sense. It was the other way around, in other words, in reality. But now let's move on. And also going to hyperboles. We have to. I don't like lying at all, but in order, like I said at the start of this video, we have to think like them, act like them. We have to use dark psychology just to get the bare minimum. Sometimes we have to strike fear into people with legal stuff so that we can get the needle moved forward for our child or children, right? But now you're about to hear, anyways, a conversation between me and the independent reviewing officer herself. And this is the part where it gets really good, because she is the one that has a lot more power than the local authority as the independent reviewing officer woman, about power dynamics. And after you've had this conversation, I'm going to save the best part for last. You're going to see how they've been exposed, how I exposed them, how I set them straight, called them out on many things in a barrage of emails sent between me and Virginia, who ironically, after the many months of ghosting, finally reared her head and sent me some emails. I wonder why, following the conversation you're about to hear, because it's power, isn't it? That's the independent reviewing officer. Let's play this. 3, 2, 1, play.
There's a shred of human decency left on God's green earth. I just want to know, I've asked for numerous times now for Virginia to set up... Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hear you now, yes.
Amazing, thank you. So I've asked Virginia to set up a meeting multiple times for the father to see his son and steps towards that. I've continually been ignored. Moreover, I spoke to the interim social worker yesterday, and she told me that supposedly somebody will be in touch, but it's at this point where she's ignoring the judge's orders, because I've not been in communication with her at all. Yeah. Okay. And I'm the one that's supposedly cohesive and controlling and paranoid. Yeah.
So I do apologise. I did speak to the interim social worker first. It's my mistake. And so, yeah, no, not to worry. What I mentioned before.
Yeah. Let me just have a little look and see
Okay.
what's happening.
All right.
I'm not aware that there's another social worker.
Yeah.
You said there's an interim one, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I spoke to the interim a couple of days ago, and she told me that apparently the local authority want to set a meeting up this week, but I've emailed so many times and I've always been ghosted, and it's a disgusting trick they do to men to make men break. But I'm not falling for it. But I am pissed off.
At the moment, Mr.
Yeah.
From what I can see at the moment, it's still Abigail Lamptey whose name is on this file. Has she not been Abigail Lamptey?
That's what I'm saying. I've spoken to the interim social worker, who indeed is Abigail Lamptey. That's why I said interim.
Well, she is the allocated social worker.
Right.
She's not an interim. She is the allocated.
The allocated. Okay.
I made a mistake there too.
If it's under her name, it's under her name.
So much going on in my brain.
Yeah.
I made mistakes.
I'll write an email to her and to Virginia.
Yes,
and
please.
I'll respond to
Please. I really appreciate that.
Because when you represent yourself in courts, you are going to be susceptible towards making mistakes because of the energy it takes dealing with so many different members of authority. So if I make mistakes here or there, I do apologise for that. But at least I'm honest with them.
One last thing. I know you've got to go very quickly. This is what I sent to Virginia. And as the independent reviewing officer, I'm asking you respectfully to listen to this, please. I am asking yet again for a meeting to be set up between us so that a proven innocent man, following inconclusive evidence in court, can work towards being back in his biological son's life. I have been told by the interim social worker that you would be in touch this week. We spoke 2 days ago on the 3rd of the 6th, 2024, and we also talked about my parental courses, which I will attend online with Barbara, and there is a meeting set up between us for next week. The interim social worker and myself also spoke of now that I have power behind me. I've been told by my legal team to give it 3 months minimum and work with the local authority whilst I put on a fresh attitude. Due to my horrible conduct, based on how the local authority have disgustingly treated me. But they won't be held accountable, Pamela. Anyway, let me continue on. In addition to working with Barbara and courses, parenting courses and, you know, other courses alike, as well as other people's authority, etc. And I've been advised, if nothing changes, then we have a problem. My firm's words, not mine. You should all...
Let me just tell you where things are.
Pamela, nearly finished.
Yeah, go on.
You should also be aware that my legal team have listened to a few of my voice recordings as well, which highlight this disingenuous, deplorable and sick attitudes of the local authority. And, okay, and if nothing changes, I want you to listen up here, Pamela, and if nothing changes, respectfully, and if nothing changes, I have no problem paying what I need to get things moved forward to the next stage, Virginia. This can't keep going on as the manager, Virginia, regarding ghosting me. Something has to change here. Please, Virginia, set up a meeting for us and let's plan moving forward and working together peacefully for Austin. Kindness, genuine regards.
Tell you where things are.
Please, tell me.
Because I've only got a short...
Talk to me. Tell me. No problem. Fine.
Right, let me tell you, I've had a look at the file.
Okay.
The case will be transferred to another team.
Right.
That's why you've probably used that expression. It is currently allocated to Abigail.
Yeah.
It's being transferred to another team because it's coming out of the court team into what they call the connect team. So there will be another team dealing with it. So they're trying to get the other team involved as well because they need to be part and parcel. So that's where things are at. That's why there's been probably some level of delay because they're trying to coordinate with the other team to make sure the arrangements are put in place. And that's how it's looking to me from what I can read on the case. Okay? So that's not a deliberate sort of blanking. It's actually just trying to get things.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I said I beg to differ. How long does it take, Pamela, to write an email just to acknowledge somebody?
Yeah, it's not about... Yeah, I get it. They should come back to you. But I will ask you to do that. But not, I just want to give you information so you're aware of what the position is.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening at the moment. There you go now, Mr. Murray. We'll go right now. Because we're straight away, and then I've got to quickly go get hold of...
I'll tell you what I think. I think this is a very disgusting and sick tactic for the local authority to get a man break. When they have nothing on you, this is what they do. But he's saying, But listen, Pamela, listen to me close. I know you got to go, but I've got power behind me now. For your information, I've spent the £300, including VAT, right? They went over my paperwork. They've given me a lot of advice. I have credibility, and at the expense of sounding like I've been accused of narcissistic, I dare say I even have authority now. You know why? Because never before has my attitude been, okay, let's get things moving forward. Okay, let me go on the parenting course and speak to Barbara. Okay, Barbara, give me all the courses I need to Barbara. Never before has my attitude been that way. So you know I'm not playing. And I want you to hear me, Pamela, and listen close. If I need to, just like I said to you in the email, if nothing changes in 3 months, I am willing, and I do have the funds, to spend the thousands and thousands of pounds, and the local authority are going to get into a lot of trouble. I want to work with the authority. I'm tired of being ghosted. I'm tired of an innocent man for 2 years now. You sick F-U-C-K-S, okay? But seriously, if nothing changes, power's behind me now. Just know that, okay?
I know that. I'm here, and I'm just starting an email to Virginia. I can see that Abigail has left the local authority for the look of it. Yeah. So I can see that. Okay, let me just I'll speak to Virginia. I'm going to go now, Mr. Murray, okay? I'm doing the email for you.
I do appreciate your time, Pamela.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Bye. Thank you. Yeah.
So, following that conversation, and the best part is for last. Because it's amazing. That's just like a magic trick. Hey, presto. You have a legal team behind you, number one. And number two, independent reviewing officer saying she'll have a word and speak. Well, now, let's get into the emails section of this live. And it's amazing to me how they truly try to trip and manipulate situations that feeds into their narrative, although I shouldn't be surprised. So let's see here. On the 5th of June. Right. So let me read these emails. This is following the conversation I had with the lady. So I am asking, this is what I said to the manager. I am asking yet again for a meeting to be set up between us so that a proven innocent man following inconclusive evidence in court can work towards me back in his biological son's life. I have been told by the interim social worker that you would be in touch this week. We spoke 2 days ago on the 3rd of 6th, 2024, and we also talked about my parenting courses, which I will attend online with Barbara, and there is a meeting set up between us for next week. The interim social worker and myself also spoke of how I have power behind me, and I've been told by my legal team. So everything I've said initially to my audience, right? It's all here. I just mentioned this can't keep going on as the manager, Virginia, with ghosting me regarding that. Something has to change. Please set up a meeting for us and let's plan moving forward and working together peacefully for my son. Now, here is where it gets really good. Because all of a sudden, she responds. And I think she was a bit uptight because she usually loves to ghost me. But after speaking to the independent reviewing officer, right, the lady that was on the voice recording with me, as it was played, you know, just now, or a couple of minutes ago, I got an email, and here's what she said in her email. She said, "Dear Mr. Murray, thank you for your detailed email. My name is spelled as Virginia. I think I spelled her name by accident, vagina. It might have been like by accidental spell checker, and she took offense to that. Who cares? I just want to ensure for all future correspondences that this is spelled correctly. Secondly, I am not ghosting you. I was on leave, and during that time, I believe you have been in communication with the outgoing social worker, Abigailda, and she provided you with an update. Yeah, but the thing is that's one thing, but then ghosting for months and months and months is quite another thing. See how they twist it. Abigail has now left the service and also will be transferred as my son to the long-term team looking after team. Once a social worker is confirmed, I will provide you with their details and those of their line manager. The next phase now is to hold a meeting of agreeing how supervised virtual conduct will be conducted. So I need to sign paper, and that's going to be... They sent the contract out to me, but I'm trying to take out, which I haven't signed the contract yet, in the meeting tomorrow, and I'll keep my viewers updated. I'm trying to get the no videos of my son for his 7th birthday taken out because I wanted to video my child for memories, right? Let's continue on the emails. And this is what I said. Here's where it gets really good now. Isn't it amazing that I get an email from you a mere 27 minutes following my call to the independent reviewing officer, Pamela Wilson? No matter your excuse to not get in touch with me, I was busy. I am too busy to send an email. My phone is having problems, etc., etc., etc. No matter how you cut it, you know what you are doing with intention in your feeble attempts towards trying to make me break by staying silent, and it never worked. Just like it never worked in Family Court either. I took the LA's best shots, and then some, and then some, and then some more. And I stood toe to toe with your top solicitors, representing myself with no experience, right? And not only survived the sick psychological mind games and warfare whilst being cross-examined by so many different members, or variables of authority. I I have thrived off it and learnt much after representing myself in court, and it has now given me the confidence pertaining towards getting my own top solicitors behind me, and now I myself have power. I didn't need power behind me initially at the time, or so I thought, whilst representing myself over the grueling 3-day trial periods, as I'm not a liar nor a coward. I told the truth with authenticity, purity, and honesty. Mind you, I can't say the same thing about you, Virginia, and moreover, I think you set a world record of how much your eyes were blinking in court, a textbook sign of a liar. As far of you being off work, you came back on the 2nd of the 6th, 2024, and it would have been professional of you to have let an innocent proven man who is in so much pain relating to what the local authority did to me and not being able to see his biological son aware of updates upon your return relating to me and my son's contact going forward. Having said this, I now understand why the local authority's treatment of me as a whole has been what it is. I think I've worked it out. It's evidently obvious to do with how you train your colleagues as their team manager. It starts at the top, Virginia. Know this, nobody is immune to karma from the universe. Everybody pays for their sins. Everybody. And following my legal team's instructions, if nothing changes in 3 months' time, from now behind me putting on a fresh attitude and working with Bob from the parenting coaching, well, if nothing changes, then my own top legal firm will be stepping in. Mind you, as you point out, there is a new team now being the Connect team, which tells me that you do what you do best. Run to avoid accountability. But if my own legal team can't get you to be responsible or accountable in relation to how many rights of mine have been disgustingly violated, karma from the universe most certainly will. Case in point, I guarantee you that you're not very happy in your personal life. That's karma from your actions right there. For all the lives you destroy, children, innocent children you take from their parents. That's karma, man. They notice. Then they're never happy. Look, next time if you go on a meeting with these professional social workers, look at their body language, look at their mannerisms, look at their facials, look how dead they look. That's karma. It is. Anyway, sorry, let me continue with this email. I look forward to next week, and this time around at the meeting next week, and this time around my conduct at contact will be different, as an innocent man has had time to heal 1 year on. Remember now, I was accused of shotgun offences, murder of a minor, having schizophrenia, the depths that they will go because of my past and my neurodiversity and my criminal record history. That's why you're a threat, you see. But it's also, I think, where I came from, living in a supported accommodation system, after the care system, mind you, and only being in the real world for 8 years. That's the real problem. But it's not good PR for them to say this, because I've got the house, I've got my business, I've got that beautiful child of mine who I raised and did more than my share with love. And it's bad PR of raising them, and it's bad PR for them to put forth my lack of life experience. It makes them look like shit. So in my opinion, although I can't prove it, they will say it's because of your criminal history, which is 10 years spent. You know, I haven't been charged in 10 years. And no one looks at the good you've done, because then it means that you come across in a good light. And they don't want that, do they now? Let's continue with the email. Oh, by the way, Maria, my son's nan. Hang on. In closing, I'd highly recommend that you use our experience together as the manager behind how you can improve by managing your team better, as well as invest in resources in courses surrounding professionalism as the manager. Oh, by the way, Maria that's my son's nan, broke the injunction order and messaged me twice 2 days ago. And I have sent Abigail a screenshot of this, the social worker. Are there consequences for Maria, or is it double standards? The question, of course, is rhetorical, as this is the local authority 101 in relation towards their conduct with the father. And not just me, other men have go through this. It's double standards, right? It's my hope that you can treat other innocent men better in your future, Virginia, in your future. Kindest, genuine regards. So then, And here's where it gets crazy. This is the local authority exposed now, 101. And look what she does, dumping the blame on my child. Just like the blame of my son saying that his dad strangled him because he was too young back then. Just like that was dumped on my child by the local authority, sick narrative, as well as my son's nan's narrative for financial gain. The blame was dumped on the child. And watch what happens here in this email. And I'll show this to you as proof. Dear Mr. Murray, thank you for your detailed email. My name is, here he is, Bells, Virginia. Who cares? I want to ensure they sent me a follow-up email here. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Murray, for your email. Oh, yes. Here we go. Oh. Can you see this? This is her. Thank you, Mr. Murray, for your email. Oh, by the way, Maria broke the injunction. This is her highlighting this. And messaged me, highlighting what I said, messaged me twice 2 days ago, and I sent Abigail a screenshot of this. Are there consequences for Maria, or was it double standards? Looks what her response is. Check this out. Now, what's this? For clarification purposes, I addressed this matter. Let me hold this phone straight. I addressed this matter with Maria. Maria has been explained not to let Austin take her phone and send go-kart pictures to you. He has been advised that any time he wants to send a message to you, he can be supported to do so by his allocated social worker. See how these sick fucks operate and protect and shields somebody who breaks the injunction order themselves. Because they want to avoid accountability when they've got their own sick, twisted, disingenuous narrative. It's sick. But this is how I responded to her, and I schooled her right here. Now watch this. So the get out clause is to blame the child. This is what I wrote to her. Just like when my son was blamed when he apparently said by himself that Dada had strangled him, but in court Maria changed her story, saying that I was no threat to my son. I personally think that she was advised to say such by her own legal team to look good, following the trail of logic gaps and lies of destruction left in her wake, including failing to provide evidence of my son's neck being marked when she called the police. I think this was to cover herself after she spoke to my son's school and to garner legal aid for herself in her successful attempts to force special guardianship from the father, as well as Dr. Bosey, the psychiatrist, stated that it was the most incredible thing that he had ever heard as to how a 6-year-old child could have the memory retention behind so many variables. Dada is crazy. Dada would not strangle me. Had Dada take his medication for his ADHD all by himself, without being prompted in any way, shape or form, right? For clarification purposes, although I obviously can't prove this, I firmly feel that this is indeed the truth. Also kindly note that under the screenshot message thread, it said blue-red without any mention of a go-kart, meaning that this is clear to me that when you asked the social worker following my request to ask Maria what colour go-kart my son would like, that the screenshot indeed reflected this. Now, I asked Maria, that's my son's nan, a long time ago, what would my son like before the molestation order was served. She's responded all this time later and just put blue-red. So I know that came from her. But she's been protected because of double standards. Does that make sense? So my question would be, why would my son just type blue-red to me without any mention of a go-kart? You really think that it was Austin himself? And this is where I've got them. This is where I trapped them. This is where I had to act like them, think like them, get dark with my psychology. Now watch this. And even if it was my son, this shows you that my son wants his father in his life. Sorry, hold my phone straight here. This shows you that my son wants his father in his life and can't be corrupted by Maria nor the LA if he indeed did send the message. See that? And as my son becomes older and awakened and aware, educated and empowered, people will realise that his biological father has come through for my son in so many ways, as I did the groundwork from the emotional, psychological, and spiritual perspective from babyhood. Virginia, listen to me closely. 1. In the end, everybody reveals themselves under the masks. 2. In the end, the truth will always come out. I will be relaying these emails to my legal team, and now that I have top solicitors behind me, the local authority, about regarding the previous administration will be exposed once and for all, one way or another. I can assure you of this. I look forward towards a fresh start with the Connect team after an innocent man has had time to heal 1 year on, and hopefully they are competent behind their own professional conduct. In return, I will have a fresh attitude, do my best behind working with professionals, and participate in all courses in which Barbara will recommend to me from the parenting course team. Kindness, genuine regards, being all political, whatever. So then, let's see, is there any more? There are a couple more. Yeah, so, and then regarding the meeting setup, they want me to sign a contract, right? They want me to sign a contract. So I was supposed to have signed this document here, but I'm not going to sign because I sent the following email here, and I have an answer to my audience in tomorrow's video regarding the meeting and the fallout from that, relating to this following email. And this will be the last email, and then we'll wrap up the life. But hopefully I'll provide you some insights behind the psychology of what you need to do with speaking to the correct people, how to use your brain, how to email properly, articulately, accordingly, intentionally, and ultimately to trap them. And you have to do this sometimes to get the bare minimum, right? Now watch this. I agree to everything except the recordings part. It will be my son's 7th birthday on the 30th of June 2024. And just like when Emily Clark amended this, that was my son's then social worker. She's now on maternal leave. And just like when Emily Clark amended this for me last year with the contact service facilitator Carolyn Barrett, and we negotiated 10 minutes or less recording time in the contract, which I adhered to and respected, and I did. Well, I'm asking you now for you to consider what I'm putting forth, and to take out that I'm not allowed to take videos of my own biological son, especially on his 7th birthday. Moreover, now that a proven innocent man has had time to heal from the egregious and disingenuous accusations from the local authority, my attitude this time around will be different contacts, and I was highly encouraged to speak with the parenting lady in relation to this point. Kindly get the recording section amended in the contract, just like last year, to 5 to 10 minutes or less of supervised recordings at the contact centre, and you have a deal with my signature. Kindly notice my son's, once again, 7th birthday, and his biological dad's wishes for memories on this milestone family time for not only myself but for his biological son also. I trust that this is perfectly okay after my son's biological father, ChristopherMurray, has been proven innocent after representing myself in court regarding the aforementioned point, and that this will not be an issue, just like when it wasn't an issue last year relating to negotiations when the previous social worker was in charge before her maternal leave. This email should be forwarded to my legal team for my son's and his father's protection. So that's where I'm at right now. Negotiating the contracts, getting the being able to record 10 minutes or less. We're going to negotiate on that. Where they might get me is the non-molestation order, because they're going to say, oh, well, that wasn't into effect last year and now it is. So maybe I have no grounds. But even if they try to fuck me, no one's going to stop me from taking a video of my son's 7th birthday, because I'll get there first at contact and I'll record him coming in, and he's going to come running up to his dad's, and I'll have that at least. And it's a big fuck you to them. I'm swearing at my audience, but swearing at local authority, because they're sick. They're very sick and twisted people. Really, they are. And they need to be held accountable. And I've looked online. I don't think anybody's doing it like me, from what I've seen. And I'm an unknown entity right now, as I've just started out, close to 2,000 subscribers, which is something. But the more videos in which I do, my message is getting out there now. It's starting to. I'm noticing a lot more user engagement from Facebook profile, people liking my content, and it's getting out there slowly and surely. It is. And if I'm the only one doing it to this depth, if there's somebody else like me out there, I'd love to hear about them, because like we need to work together and expose the tyranny, the tyrannical behaviours of the local authorities to help other innocent, good people protect themselves, right? We do. And with all this said, I'm never going to really ask for likes or that stuff, because I know by never doing that, their likes will come if you give value. So I'm never going to ask for that. I will say that if you feel that this message touched you and you feel that somebody needs it to hear it, consider, how do I say it? Consider sharing my message, and just say, this guy, he talks, what do you think about him? Just ask that. If you know somebody's going through problems themselves, and if they want to obtain knowledge data from me, it's going to give them a plethora of knowledge, even if they're not currently going through it. If they could go through it in future, it's another thing to be mindful of. My story can help protect others, other men and women too, who have been left over by the system. Anyway, with all this said, if I can help out just one person, just one, I'm very happy, dudes. I thank each and every one of you for embarking on this journey with me. If you made it until the end of this video and consumed it, much love, much respect. God bless you. Thank you. And as always, much love, much respect. Until next time, and there will be a next time. Stay safe, stay blessed, and yeah, we will speak again very soon. Much to report tomorrow. So yeah, with all this said, much love, respect, and